Regarding items listed on the agenda. As a reminder, I will tap the gavel, or we will have the alarm go off when your time is up. It's going to beep you in. After it beeps you in, please state your name and city for the record. And as a courtesy, please refrain from any personal attacks. Would anybody like to speak on any of the agenda items this evening? Yes. Come on up to the microphone, and we'll get this started for you. Just one
Hello.
moment.
I'm Jake Lofton.
One moment. As soon as it beeps, then you can begin. It's going to beep multiple times and then count you in.
I'm Jake Lofner from North Adams. I'm here because I was excited to read it in Tammy Daniels' February iBerkshire article that Mayor Maxey and the City Council have expressed interest in creating some sort of panel or committee to advise the city on sustainability issues, formalizing a role that's being played currently by the North Adams Sustainability Task Force, a group of volunteers. I appreciate and support that effort. The article describes some discussion between various councilors at the time about what department might host the new panel for best effect. But considering that every single purchase, action, and policy the city executes across all departments involves a sustainability component, it seems to me that a truly effective sustainability effort requires the entire city government to have access to it. In that way, sustainability becomes a part of the city culture, part of everything it does. Wherever it does wind up on the org chart, a sustainability panel or committee could offload some tasks from department heads and staff, like draft a citywide sustainability initiative for their consideration and adoption, identify and prioritize opportunities, identify sources of funding, coordinate with local nonprofits, and perform community outreach. It could help the city set goals and then track its progress. North Adams, with this, is taking positive steps towards a healthy, prosperous, and sustainable future. I look forward to seeing where it goes.
Thank you.
Oh, so, yeah.
Just to say that
That's right. So, yeah,
I'm sorry.
I came out on my own. Is there a show of hands of people who are here to support this initiative? Yeah, okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we will continue. Committee reports and minutes. I believe we have an update from the Public Safety Committee. Councilor Sapienza?
Yes. The Public Safety Committee met on March 2nd. That should be 2026. Members present at the meeting were Councilors Breen, McCarron, and myself. Members of the public, Paul Moriarty and Izzy Briers from the Berkshire Eagle. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the current progress of Council Paper number 12,525, which is the nip bottle, proposed nip bottle ban, and to make a determination on whether to postpone any action of creating an ordinance or delay action to review the progress of a privately sponsored nip bottle collection program once the snow cover has gone. The ordinance was proposed back in 2025 by Chief of Police Mark Bailey, asking that an ordinance be created to ban the sales of alcoholic nip bottles in the city. This is done as there was a considerable amount of these bottles that were improperly disposed on the grounds and walkways of the city, adding to an existing litter problem. At this time, the committee has not recommended a draft ordinance, nor has any such ordinance been drafted. Therefore, legal evaluation is not required. Groups affected by this proposed ordinance include the Public Safety Department, Public Services, the owners and operators of alcoholic beverages, and the general public that consume alcohol in these nip-sized containers. The financial impact to the city would be minimal, and the committee's recommendation was to delay further action on this paper until the first city council meeting in the month of May 2026. The reason is to evaluate the program, or evaluate the progress of an independent nip bottle collection program, and to see if the results of the collection program is actually reducing the amount of bottles that have been improperly disposed once there is no more snow cover on the ground. The committee voted to delay until the first meeting in May, and that was supported unanimously by all three members of the Public Safety Committee, with all three members voting yay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any other committee reports or minutes? Seeing none, we will continue.
Point of order.
Yes,
Just on the agenda,
yes.
committee reports and minutes is after old business.
It was a typo. It's
Okay.
going to be fixed.
Thank you.
It should be before old business.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, council item 12,525, communication 129 from Mayor Maxey requesting time for Chief Bailey to give a brief presentation regarding a proposed prohibition of single-use nip bottle sales within the city, postponed from the meeting of February 24th. At that last meeting in February 24th, Councilor Sapienza moved to postpone the meeting, noting that the Public Safety Committee had been scheduled to meet the previous evening but was unable to do so due to a snowstorm that closed all of the city's buildings. So, Councilor Sapienza, you have given us an update. Do you have anything else you'd like to add for us?
Not at this time, but I would like to make a motion to postpone this to the first meeting in May. And if I may, well, actually, I'll put my motion forward.
We have a motion to postpone to the first meeting of May. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Blackmer. Any discussion?
Yes, I would like to ask Councilor
Councilor
Bona.
Sapienza.
Yes, I would like to ask Councilor Bona to, if he has an update on the private initiative on the nip bottle collection program.
So at this point, about 40,000 nip bottles have been collected that have gone through the Be Fair Redemption Center. They are not on the ground, they are in my garage. The goal is to hit the 50,000 and do a giant photo of them and send it to the state and say, get moving on the bottle bill, because if we can do it here in a few months, you know, there's no reason it can't be done along with state. I think one thing it has proved, I know the state part of the bottle bill is to talk about bringing them up to 15 cents, but I will say they're currently at 5 cents. It's just a local thing. And they're coming in. They're coming in much faster than I thought they would. They're coming in from all over northern Berkshire, equally from Williamstown, Adams, Cheshire, Florida. They are coming from all over. From what I can tell from the bags, I would say half of them clearly are ones that are being picked off the ground. You can tell by how random, their condition. Some are, you know, I'm not sure how, but you can tell some are very clean, and only a couple brands, so I don't know if people are saving them that way. A couple of the issues when the proposal came forward was obviously the concern of litter. If you remember, the police chief was here and showing photos of different areas of the city and the amount of trash that was in the areas. And while nip bottles are something that we don't like to see any more than needles, but obviously a lot of the trash out there also were fast food cups and bags and things like that that were not part of a ban. You know, we're not banning soda cups, but we were looking specifically at nips. And so I felt an easy solution, at least with the nips, was to just try a local refund and see how that worked. And I feel it's been successful. One of the issues, though, that may come up, we were able to collect, I think, about $2,500 fairly quick through private donations. And because it has been so successful, those funds are dwindling. So I may have to go out and make a plea to, you know, some places and businesses again, because, you know, once that money runs out, Be Fair will stop collecting them. But, so I really thought it was gonna like do nothing through the winter, but it did continue. There's organizations that actually went out and asked people, bring us your nip bottles, and they would hand them in to help fundraise for their organization. There was a woman in Williamstown who does that, and, I asked Be Fair to try to, keep track of where they're coming from, but I talked to this woman and she said, yeah, she's got people who are bringing them to her. She then hands them in, and then she takes that money and helps people who, have families, buy gifts for them or clothing and things like that. So that was sort of nice because it was sort of like a win-win in the sense that we're getting them picked up, but it's going back into the community. But where my concern is now is if that money runs out, I don't know how long it can keep happening here, but hopefully it's enough to show the state to say, look, within a few short months, we were able to do this in a small community, and I think it would have that similar impact across the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Question for you, Counselor Bona. If people here or watching at home wanted to contribute to the fund for this, where would they do that?
Yeah, so you would actually write you could go down, pay, or write a check. It goes directly to Be Fair. It would go to, which is nonprofit, and you would write a check to the Be Fair Redemption Center. It's important that you do put Redemption Center because otherwise they might think it's just a general donation. And if you send it to the Be Fair office on Church Street versus the Redemption Center, I'm sure it will get there, but the main office is on Church Street. As long as you put Redemption Center, it gets put into that fund. And, every $100 will cover 2,000 bottles. So it doesn't take a lot to pay a lot of refunds. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Counselor McDonald.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, as we look more into the nip bottle returns, and we're seeing a lot of litter come up, not just nip bottles, are we looking, or is the committee looking at other ways other than banning nip bottles to, reduce the amount of litter that we have on our streets, like recycling bins? Should we have more trash cans by liquor stores, just like that general sort of thing?
Through the chair to Councilor McDonald, yes, we have looked at other options. We've also looked at, this is as far a stretch as maybe publicly funding this program, but that would have to be checked out to the legality of being able to do so. Containers were mentioned at the meeting. We also mentioned the program of trying to place containers around the areas, which I consider what they call ground zero, which is basically Ashland Street between the high rise and the fire station on American Legion Drive. There seems to be a ground zero for these nip bottles. And amongst, in other neighborhoods, I know people have, my neighbor, for one, had put out a 5-gallon bucket because he was tired of picking them out of his hedges, and he had collected quite a few, and that was even before there was a program. But we have discussed other things, and I think the consensus of the committee is we really don't want to ban these outright right now because of the burden. It might place an extra burden on some of the businesses that do sell these in the city.
Thank you. Counselor McCarron.
Through the chair to Council Bona. I just have a quick question for you. I got a
Can you speak a little
sorry.
louder, please?
Yeah, I just have a really bad cold. I'm losing my
Understand.
voice. Have you noticed any changes in the complaints since this redemption started? I mean, have you noticed people less complaints about the bottles since you're so involved in this?
So initially, it just started in November, and of course, snow came.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why they extended it, which is what I originally asked for, is to have it go to May anyway, because we really need to see the snow gone, let the ground get dry so people can pick them up. Clearly, some people are picking them up because I can tell, again, by what's being handed in that there are some that you can tell they've been on the ground. I think we're not going to know till, like I say, another couple weeks. But hopefully, with still some funds in there, it's going to get people to go around and pick them up. I think initially we did see it. I mean, you could see I knew where there was areas where I would always see bottles, and I mean, there are some people who go around every night, even looking in the downtown trash cans for cans, And now that if they know they can get 5 cents for a nip bottle, it's worth them bending over and getting the nip bottle. But I can't say I heard a lot of difference because I don't think we could see it. The other thing I want to say is this banning the nip bottles was something that Pittsfield also considered. And one of the reasons that they stopped it was sort of for the opposite of what you might think, because one of the concerns was, is this promoting drinking? Is this promoting alcoholism? And obviously, if someone's drinking many, many nip bottles a day, there's an issue there. However, one of the things they found out with some of the programs in Pittsfield is when people are trying, alcohol is one of those ones you can't really just quit. You can't go cold turkey. It's unhealthy if you're have alcoholism and you just say, today I'm going to stop. So that was one of the reasons why liquor stores did not close during COVID, because they did not want people who had a dependency on alcohol to all of a sudden have to be going to the hospital, because it can be detrimental to just automatically stop. But one of the things they found in Pittsfield was there was programs that came in that said when people are trying to wean themselves off, they keep buying smaller bottles. They might start with a gallon and go to a quart and go to a pint size and go to the nip. And or they might only buy themselves purposely a couple nips a day. And because they have a bigger bottle, they might drink a bigger bottle. So they felt it could have a reverse effect. One thing I learned during this program is originally I just assumed nips were sold in liquor stores, but they actually can be sold in beer and wine stores because they have made beer and wine is not just beer and wine. It has to do with the percentage of alcohol that's in a beverage. So they have lower alcohol nips. I don't remember what the percentage is, but it might be 20% versus 50% or 5%. So we can't automatically point our finger to the liquor stores and say all these nips are coming from there. But as for your original thing, I don't think we're going to know for another couple weeks to a month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? The motion on the table is to postpone this paper to the meeting, first meeting of May, which is May 12th. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 9 yeas. The motion carries. On to new business. Council item 12,563, a communication from President Ashley Shade requesting time for a presentation from Andy Otteson and Anna Youngman from Berkshire Regional Planning Commission regarding the Into Light project. Without objection, I would like to read the communication and then file it. Dear fellow councilors, I am requesting up to 10 minutes of presentation time and up to 5 minutes of Q&A time on the March 10th, 2026 agenda for Annie Otteson and Anna Youngman from the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission to present information regarding the Into Light project and share information about their upcoming event on March 12th, 2026 at Hotel Downstreet. The Into Light project is a nationally recognized public art and education initiative that uses portraiture and storytelling to humanize the impact of substance use disorder. The project works directly with families who have lost loved ones to addiction, creating powerful graphite portraits and accompanying narratives that honor each individual's life beyond their struggle. These works are displayed in community exhibitions designed to reduce stigma, foster empathy, and promote meaningful conversations about prevention, treatment, and recovery. In addition to the exhibition component, Into Light partners with local organizations, schools, and public agencies to facilitate dialogue, provide educational programming, and strengthen regional responses to the opioid crisis. Given the continued impact of substance use disorder in our community and across Berkshire County, I believe it would be valuable for the city council to learn more about the project's goals, the proposed local engagement efforts, and any potential opportunities for municipal collaboration. Respectfully submitted. And with that, I'd like to file the communication and invite Anna Youngman to come up to the podium and talk to us about Into Light.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. Again, my name is Anna Youngman. I am the North County Community Coordinator at Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, and I coordinate the North County, the North Berkshire HEAL Coalition. The North Berkshire HEAL Coalition was founded in 2022 through the National Institute of Health Healing Studies. It was founded to reduce overdoses, opioid overdoses. We are currently funded by opioid settlement funds from 8 different North Berkshire municipalities, including North Adams, and funds from North Adams Regional Hospital. The coalition's goals are to bolster harm reduction, treatment and recovery supports. And our other goal, obviously, is to reduce or to address the root causes of addiction and substance use disorder. We focus on building collaboration among a wide range of community sectors, including service providers, first responders, elected officials, and community members, and individuals with lived experience. We would be delighted to share more information about joining our coalition. It is open to membership, and I'd be delighted to share more if folks are interested in learning more about joining the coalition. I'd love to take a few moments to share about some of our other initiatives as well before I dive into sharing about the HEAL initiative. Some current activities of the HEAL Coalition: we have dedicated some of the opioid settlement funds to increase the services that community legal aid is able to provide in North Berkshires. We've dedicated funds so that they can provide free civil legal services to individuals with a history of substance use disorder. They're particularly focusing on housing discrimination cases. Given the immense cost and time that we know is involved in building new housing, this initiative focuses on helping individuals stay in the housing they have and working through housing discrimination cases when there is a history of substance use disorder. We are also really excited about a new initiative we've just rolled out recently called Keeping Recovery Connected. It's a phones program. It provides free phones and 3 months of cell service to individuals with opioid involvement, either current or past. We know that staying in touch with services, recovery support, harm reduction is life-changing and potentially life-saving for individuals. And so this program is specifically focused on individuals who are at risk of overdose or of a return to use if they're not able to maintain contact with the support network and support services they need. And we provide a pathway to long-term cell phone coverage as well. We are also excited about an upcoming initiative called Bolstering Family Networks, which aims to bring hope, connection, and practical support to the families of individuals with substance use disorder. So it's supporting the individual by supporting their social network as well. So those are just some of the current activities of the HEAL Coalition. And then, as stated, we're excited to share more about the Into Light exhibit that is coming up. So thank you, President Shade, for your summary of that as well. Into Light, as President Shade said, is a nationwide arts activism project that pairs portraiture and narrative to bring awareness to overdose and to addiction. It was founded by artist Teresa Fowler after her son Devin died of an overdose. Our Berkshire exhibit that we're bringing to the area features 10 new portraits of local individuals, local Berkshire County individuals who have been tragically lost to overdose. We are grateful to the 10 local families who shared their loved one's story, both with us and with a professional team of artists and writers through the Into Light National Organization. We are bringing this because we want to it's called Into Light for a reason. We want to bring this topic into light to reduce stigma. We know that stigma is one of the biggest killers. Stigma around addiction and substance use disorder is what can keep people from seeking services. It can keep families from speaking about what their loved one is going through and the disease they are struggling with. And so we bring Into Light to the community to reduce stigma, to educate providers, students, and the community on the opioid epidemic and pathways to recovery, and to send a message of love and support to all those impacted, including families. The exhibit opens this Friday, March 13th through June 30th. We have been generously given the gallery space from Hotel Down Street for the length of the exhibit. And we're also really excited, anyone can come to the gallery and walk through on their own time if you prefer to view it in privacy. But we're also excited about a series of forums and events that we are doing in conjunction with this. We're going to have a series of facilitated walkthroughs where individuals can come as a group. I'll facilitate those. We walk through the exhibit and then take some time to sit with the impact of it, these portraits of our local individuals, and then there's additional 20 portraits from across Massachusetts. So it's going to be very powerful. All of these graphite artistic portrayals of individuals. So we'll walk through the exhibit together and then take time to debrief and discuss and do some kind of basic education around the fact that addiction is a disease and not a moral failing. Kind of talk through that, and then have some time for local harm reduction to do a naloxone training as well. So those will be our exhibit walkthroughs, and we also have a series of forums we're excited about. The first one is Voices in Recovery, and we'll have local individuals who are in recovery themselves and who are now professionals in local recovery support options, speak to their experience and to their life journeys. We're going to have one on harm reduction. We're going to have one on the neuroscience of addiction and treatment options with Dr. Jennifer Michaels from the Brain Center. And we're also planning one on substance use and housing needs, which we would love, particularly we would love our municipal leaders to attend that one. So in conclusion, we're really grateful for the time to speak about this today. We are hoping that Into Light really makes an impact in our community by raising awareness and reducing stigma. I hope to see many of you at the upcoming series of events, and I have materials that I forwarded to President Shade that are in your packets and that I can provide as well. And please as well, connect with me if you're interested in learning more about the HEAL Coalition and our ongoing work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Counselor Zawadzki.
Through the chair to Anna, what is the best way for us and the public to find out about the dates? Is it Facebook? Is it a website? Not only for the dates of the exhibit, but also the other programs that you mentioned, like bolstering family connections and things of that nature. Oh, you have a paper.
I have many papers.
Okay.
Do I provide them to the clerk? Do I provide them directly, or?
They should all be in our packets, but you can go ahead and hand them out as well.
Okay. So, oh, we have them in our packets,
Okay,
but thank you.
wonderful. We also have a page on the BOAPC website that folks can look at. That is BOAPC, I think, .org. And we'll have a series of promotional events on Facebook and things like that.
Through BOAPC, that's what
Yes.
people should search?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Counselor McCarron.
I just have through the chair, I just have a comment for Ian. I just want to say thank you for bringing this forward. I wrote something down, that substance use disorder has affected many families across the communities. So initiative like this that promote compassion and understanding are very important. I just want to thank you again for bringing this forward.
Thank you so much. We're really grateful to the courage of the families who shared their loved ones' stories with us.
Counselor Breen.
Hi, I have a question. I see that you getting funds from the settlement from these wicked people.
Excuse me, Counselor Breen, can you speak louder?
Sure,
I'm
sure.
having difficulty hearing you.
Getting settlements from these wicked people that supplied it to make money is all. is there any daylight? Is the numbers coming down at all?
Yes, that's an excellent question. Tragically, Berkshire County has the highest overdose ratio in the state of Massachusetts, but we have seen a reduction in the last few years. And I think that's thanks to the hard work. We have a very robust response service, kind of a whole network, from both harm reduction, trying to keep people safe who are in active use, to recovery options, Have Hope Peer Recovery Center. We have a very robust network. And we have about triple the average naloxone distribution of elsewhere in the state. So we have high need and high activity and good work that's being done.
Are they getting the drugs through prescriptions or in the street or both?
I think it's often a combination of both. A great resource to learn more about what is in our current supply is Berkshire Harm Reduction. That's just up the road from here. It used to be known as Tapestry. It's a program of Berkshire Health Systems, and they do our local harm reduction, and they also test what's in the local supply. So they are very aware of kind of the current trends. They're a great resource.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, before you step away, I just want to,
Zawadzki.
sorry, Counselor Zawadzki.
Is this something that you all plan to do more in the future? And the reason I ask is that tragically there are more than 10 people that we've lost to overdose in Berkshire County. And so if families have an interest in memorializing their loved ones, is this something they could reach out to the HEAL Initiative to discuss that? Is this planning to be an ongoing thing?
We have hopes that are tentative due to funding, but we are hopeful and we want to start a conversation, and particularly with the Bolstering Family Networks grant that we received. We are hoping to expand the supports for family members, so both for into light purposes or for just connection. We would love to be in touch with folks and help point them in a direction to get support.
Thank you. Any other questions? Counselor McDonald?
Yeah, thank you for this presentation. It was great. Just a quick question. If people are in need of these services, are they likely to be referred by a provider, or do they typically find them independently?
I think both providers, there's definitely some independent searching for it, but also family and friends and social networks. And that's a huge part of why we're bringing Into Light to the area, to help normalize conversations around this so people can direct their loved ones to the help and support they need.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Counselor McCarron?
How will this exhibit, or how can this exhibit, like, deter or help our young people going to see it understand the risks of substance abuse? I'm hoping that if through it, we'll be able to.
Thank you. Our hope is to create an evening specific to youth and to parents to come together to view the exhibit and spark conversations among family.
I'm hopeful too.
And I forgot to fully answer your question about whether it can move. The portraits, we own replicas of the portraits, so we can bring the exhibit kind of on the road in the years to follow and throughout this.
Any further questions? Counselor Bono?
Yeah, sorry about that. Actually, what I was trying to find is I feel like all week I've been seeing social media posts on this. So I'm not sure. I was trying to remember what it was that I keep seeing, but it has popped up many times. I'm not sure if it was through the media or your own post through some of the local, but it was very recognizable because you had pictures of the portraits. So I feel like, at least on social media, it is out there.
We're trying to spread the message far and wide.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any others? Counselor McDonald?
Sorry, just one more thing. You mentioned that you can travel with these portraits. Have you ever gone into like schools and discussed using these portraits as a way of reaching out to youth to, obviously, of course, be against using opioids?
We haven't yet, as it's just launching. We do have dates set with Berkshire Community College to bring some of the portraits to them.
Great, thank
And,
you.
I'm the contact if folks are interested in bringing additional groups to do a facilitated walkthrough or for specific conversations. I'm available to help schedule and arrange those.
Thank you. Any further questions? Counselor Sapienza?
Well, this is not a question, but more of an observation. The fact that most of us in this room probably know somebody, maybe more than one person, that has died from an opioid overdose or through some sort of an addiction issue. And I think this is a great reminder of every person that we have, we lose through opioid or through some type of overdose. It's a great reminder that there's a human face behind each, and there's a life behind each person that does unfortunately succumb to addiction.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you so much for coming and sharing this information with us. As everybody has said, this is so important for our community to take the time to understand this crisis better and really to remember the people that were lost and hopefully try to prevent, if we can just save one life, get somebody help, one person, it means everything. And so hopefully that can spread and we can help lots of people because of this awareness. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for making time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next on the agenda, we have council item 12,564, a communication from Vice President Andrew J. Fitch requesting time for representatives from the Green North Adams to present recommendations for legislative action on sustainability initiatives. The Green North Adams, Councilor Fitch, would you like to say a word?
Yes, a quick introduction, and sorry for the back and forth, by the way. I was trying to arrange the text so we could go right into this, but it still didn't work. So I'll get back over there and get this set up right after this, though. But a quick introduction to Jenny Dunning, who is kind of leading this presentation. There are several people involved in this, but Green North Adams is a group that has been in existence well before I knew it was in existence. You know, they've worked on several initiatives over time, so they've been up and running for quite some time. Going back about a year ago to kind of let you know there are two things going on here, we started talking about whether or not we should have a sustainability commission in the city of North Adams. So that's one kind of track here that I started about a year ago, and we're continuing in community development right about now. This group, in the meantime, however, got in touch with me, and we've been working on the side about presenting some options for sustainability initiatives, some solutions that they are providing us here tonight to start to consider at the same time. Earth Day is approaching in the month of April. We didn't want to miss this opportunity to get something going. So here they are tonight presenting about this. So thank you for this opportunity to have them back again. I'll head right over.
Thank you. And without objection, I'd like to file the communication and then we can begin the presentation. If you could come up and speak at the microphone. And again, the microphone does not project in the room, so please use outdoor voices so everyone can hear you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jenny Dunning, co-founder of Green North Adams and a member of the North Adams Sustainability Task Force. I want to thank you for giving the task force this opportunity to share our ideas with you. At the last City Council meeting, Mayor Maxey said she was interested in what Green North Adams would like to see included as far as sustainability goals. This presentation is our answer, the big picture answer anyway. You should have copies of the presentation. We plan to keep this very short, so this will be a reverse presentation. We'll hit the highlights and the details are spelled out in the presentation. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Barbara May, who is also a co-founder of Green North Adams. And next slide.
Thanks, Andy. I'd like to thank the City Council and particularly Councilor Bono. Kudos to you for this initiative. It ties in with what we're definitely trying to do. So, we can't ignore climate change. I think most would agree climate change is causing big disruptive changes all over the world right now. Will cause even worse disruptions and crises in the future. The price of ignoring climate change is far higher than addressing it. The price of pretending that it isn't happening is self-sabotage against ourselves, and future generations. So if we could do the next slide. How can we address climate change here locally? Job one for ourselves is dramatically lowering our dependence on fossil fuels and decreasing our use of fossil fuels. Let's all support local efforts towards the transition to renewable energy to lower CO2 in the atmosphere. Together, we have the power to do many things that reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. We could compost our food waste, weatherize our homes and city buildings, find grants to help low-income residents to weatherize their homes, improve our infrastructure and agricultural resilience, to name a few. Let's make some positive and necessary changes. Our next presenters will speak to the other big pieces of the puzzle.
Okay, and now we have Jane Roth on the plastics problem.
The truth about plastic. All plastics eventually break down into micro and nanoplastics. These particles exist through the planet's ecosystems, from oceans to soil to the air we breathe, and they are increasingly found in our human bodies. Scientists are only beginning to understand the long-term effects on human health. Individuals and communities bear the real cost of plastic waste. Taxpayers pay for collecting litter, hauling plastic to landfills or incinerators, and removing it from our waterways and the environment. Meanwhile, the companies that produce plastic largely avoid responsibility for the pollution that their products create. The recycling numbers printed on plastic are also misleading. Despite the familiar recycling symbols, only about 5 to 6% of plastic in the United States is actually recycled. Most plastic ends up in landfills, incinerators, the environment. In many cases, it's cheaper for companies to manufacture new virgin plastic than to recycle our existing materials. The current system of plastic production, use, and disposal ultimately benefits large corporations far more than the consumers, while the environment and financial burdens fall on us, the public. Thank you.
I'll just let people read that slide for a second. We need to change our behavior. We need to use fewer plastics, and
Excuse me, can you speak to the microphone, the people at,
so just the ways we can address the plastic problem. We need to change our behavior and use fewer plastics, and that's the long and short of it. Okay, Patricia Walton is up next, talking about challenges related to waste disposal.
For waste disposal, we're running out of landfill space, and food waste is over 20% of what we throw away. In a landfill, that gets broken down by anaerobic bacteria and releases greenhouse gases. We also don't have ways to dispose of everything that's not supposed to go in the trash, and people are uninformed. What can we do? We can educate people to reduce and reuse, not just recycle. We can expand recycling opportunities. And we can expand composting and provide more collection options, including at the transfer station. Thank you.
And now we have Doug McCusker on challenges related to water quality and the Hoosick River watershed.
Our waterways and surface water are the lowest common denominator for the health of our community. Everything eventually drains into the Hoosick River or the two main reservoirs that supply our drinking water. While a lot of great work is being done by the city to keep our drinking water safe, our reservoirs filled, and aging pipes replaced, water pollution is an ongoing sustainability concern. Mitigating pollutants such as fecal bacteria, city runoff, trash including plastics, fertilizer, and residual heavy metals requires educating the public about conservation and maintaining a robust monitoring system.
Okay, and I just want to bring up a few additional issues. First is what we can do locally to address pollinator decline. This affects both honeybee hives and wild pollinators. The latest figures suggest that 50 to 70% of honeybee hives in New England did not survive last season. And wild pollinator populations are declining both locally and nationally. Reducing the use of pesticides and herbicides, mowing less frequently, and planting more native flowering plants can help mitigate this situation. We want to work with the city administration and community to see where we can apply these strategies. There is also very limited production of locally grown food, a very small percentage of the food that we all eat. We want to support local production and preserve land that could be used for agriculture in the future. Next slide. We want to promote the green energy transition and encourage the city and community to plant more trees for carbon sequestration. Next slide. These are the reasons we feel so strongly that we need to address these issues locally. First, North Adams residents are already bearing the costs of these problems. Second, we can make a measurable difference in some areas, and the task force believes that we have an obligation to do so where we can. Third, because educating the public about the need for change is part of the solution, any efforts that serve this purpose are worthwhile. Next slide. These ideas are not coming from left field. Here's Doug again.
Many of the sustainability issues discussed in this presentation have tie-ins, as you see, with the North Adams Vision 2030. Those are examples of ones that we were able to find. A sustainability initiative for the city would help our leaders set and track sustainability goals for the next decade and coordinate with other organizations and businesses working on these goals. The lowest hanging fruit that we believe would be to pass a ban on single-use plastic bags, reduce non-renewable plastic waste, and raise community awareness for more sustainable practices. The last slide are some resources that informed our presentation.
Okay, we do have several people who came to the presentation who are available, local experts on sustainability who are available to answer your questions as well as us. We have Susan Abrams, who can speak to the effects of the Williamstown plastic bag ban on residents and business owners. And we have Tonya Shruboniak, Executive Director of the Zilka Environmental Center at Williams College. Thank you very much for allowing us to take your time today.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Savatsky.
So more of a comment than a question, but it did come up last time when we were discussing the Sustainability Commission. Is there enough interest for a commission to be filled? And I think seeing the show of hands and the fact that an entire room has been filled of people that support this, is really nice to see from our end, but I think kind of pretty handily answers that question that yes, there is enough interest from the public to handily fill a commission or a whatever type of body. And so I just want to thank everyone for coming out and showing your support and putting on this wonderful presentation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Councillor Breen.
Yeah, I actually have a question. One of the first few slides, and I know you went into depth on parts of this, improve infrastructure resilience would be...
I think, and maybe it's a little bit shorthand, but Doug, you actually did the homework on this. So one of the problems with our water quality is, and I'm not an expert on this, is cracks in the sewage system where fecal contamination is leaking into the stormwater runoff system.
Okay.
So
So it's,
that's an example
Okay.
of improving infrastructure. I think in the big picture, we also need to improve infrastructure to deal better with our trash. One of the reasons why so few plastics are recycled is because the system is rigged. The whole idea of recycling has been pushed by the plastic manufacturers, and it's a kind of greenwashing. But the other reason is that we have very poor systems for collecting plastics and sorting them, and economically, the numbers just don't work. There's another example.
from a city standpoint, what can the city do? I understand that on the trash, I understand the water pipes. What else, any infrastructure?
So I think that's part of what we see a commission's, part of the purpose of a commission is
Okay.
to do that kind of homework. It's so broad, this need for sustainability initiative, right? And that's why it really needs to be integrated into city administration. But I think the city, we know our city is short-staffed, and I think the community would like to be behind this, and that the community could help do the research and connect some of the dots, because there are a lot of nonprofits out there doing some of this work, but it's not coordinated.
I see a lot of the commercial carriers, some recycle, some don't recycle,
I worry a lot about the monitoring. With so many private haulers, I think it's very hard. There are state rules about, they're not supposed to charge extra to collect recycling, and all haulers are supposed to collect both recycling and landfill trash. I often see trucks where it is clear that that's not happening, and probably others have too. That is a concern.
So there's state laws to run that?
State laws do there are requirements. So we're not part of the trash management system, the Northern Berkshire Trash Waste Management District. And so that means that there isn't an organization kind of watching out for some of that. And I think maybe compliance is more lax than it should be. And that's something too that I don't, obviously, we're not going to be watchdogs. A commission is not going to be a watchdog, but I think all these issues need to be part of the conversations that we're having.
I'm a former teacher, and I remember we had an initiative that was going successfully until it went sideways, was instead of receiving plastic milk, we received it in bottles. And the kids like it. It tasted better. There was actually a larger serving in it. And the manufacturer or someone didn't like to do that.
Yeah.
And that's sad to see that kind of thing. So it's
Yeah, and providing food for school kids, the free lunches, the free meals, that's a huge problem because it's all relying on plastic now. And there is convenience, and it is cost effective, and we've gotten rid of our dishwashers. So I don't know what the answers are there, but I want to keep talking about it because I don't think what we're doing now is sustainable in the long term.
because it's hard to have kids understand if they see it at school. This is what we do at school. We throw it all away, and
Absolutely,
it's really hard to have them
yes,
do it at home.
yeah.
Looks like one of your presenters.
Thank you.
Is she?
Are you looking to add on to what was said?
Well, this is Susan Abrams, and she's a local activist, and yes.
I'm a sustainability and anti-plastics advocate in the area. I'm from Williamstown. You asked about infrastructure programs, and I can just give you one example that came to mind pretty quickly, which is the idea of putting up water fountains around the town so that people can refill their own bottles instead of having to purchase plastic bottles. plastic water bottles are one of the worst plastic pollution issues right now. And if I could just speak to something that came up earlier about the nip bottles, there are bills at the state level right now that I work with a statewide coalition that's trying to advance the bottle bills, and it includes nips with the redemption that would be written into the new bottle bill. And so that would be state funding to give it's not funding, but it would actually provide funds to the state with the collections that would come from the nip bottles. So I love what you're doing here in North Adams. I'm gonna bring this back to my coalition, and hopefully we can work with you. But there are a lot of opportunities, I think. As Jenny said, the Sustainability Committee would come up with a lot of, I'm sure, great ideas about that they could bring to you guys.
Thank you. Councilor Bona first, and then Councilor Breen.
Yeah, through the chair, and I know I've spoken to some of the members, and, you know, in the past, the plastic bag ban came to council and is halted because at the time, the state was starting to get into some serious discussion about it. We wanted to wait to see what the state was going to do, but then all of a sudden, then COVID hit, and it seemed like plastic didn't matter at that time because we were throwing away plastic left and right every day. I'm not opposed to a single-use plastic bag ban. What I am opposed to is doing it before the city becomes a role model. And the issue got brought up about the schools and the amount of plastic we use and throw away every day in the schools. Plastic utensils for breakfast, lunch, and even the after-school dinners. And this was the issue I had before, and this is an issue I have commonly with any government, is when the government enforces and imposes laws on the people, on businesses, and say, you got to do it this way, but we don't. We don't care if it costs you more, but we're doing it our way, the government, because we want to save money. So one of the big reasons we don't do this at the school is because it costs more money. It costs more money to have dishwashers, costs more money, we lose utensils. But I feel like personally the city has to become the role model and do that first. You know, just my, you know, my opinion, and I agree, there's things the city, in many communities, but the city isn't doing to promote and encourage some low-hanging fruit that could, you know, get people to recycle more and do more. You know, everything from downtown, just having more recycling trash cans. You know, if you go up to the transfer station, there is a recycling building, and actually it's pretty full. I mean, I don't know how often it comes, but when I go in there, though, it's the paper and the plastic is all together. There's nothing separating it, so I always wonder how is that being picked up and taken away, because we have to separate it, but yet it goes in this building and there's literally no divider and it's all overlapping. So I feel there's definitely improvements we need to make as a city, and show that first. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Bona. Any other questions? Councilor Blackmer?
Yeah. Pittsfield instituted their single-use, their plastic bag ban. They passed it in March of 2019, and they instituted it on January 1st of 2020. Obviously, less than 3 months later, the world went to hell in a handbasket, and we had issues with plastic. But they've continued. And while, and I'm sorry, but I think that saying the schools have to start using not using plastic before we should institute a ban on plastic bags, and I'm sorry, but I would ban styrofoam while we're at it, is a cop-out. Part of that it is convenience, it is cost, but it's also a health issue with the schools. And I know that's where some of it came back because of COVID. I know places where just businesses where you used to get utensils, and all of a sudden you're getting the plastic ones. And then I also know of other businesses that use the bamboo and the wood that are compostable. So think that that's definitely something that the city council should be looking at ordinance on. And although I know that I respectfully disagree with Councilor Bona on this, and there's a couple of other things that we could do here. The other thing is, as many of you know, my sister lives in the UK, and I went to visit her, and every single thing had a recyclable. They have single-use plastic, like when you take the top off of a frozen dinner or just this tiny little bit of plastic got rinsed off and went into a bag that was then recycled. They have community-based composting as part of their trash removal. The paper and the metal and the plastic and everything. It's like her trash bin, we were there for a week and I don't think we did that much trash for 3 people, so including the cat. So I think that there are ways to do things, and I would like to see more compost initiatives available to community members. I know that there are things where there's private businesses, and that has its own challenges, but I think there's some good ideas in here. Some of the things are relatively not easy. It's changing our habits. I mean, 40 years ago when I moved here, we didn't separate plastic and paper and metal cans. They weren't recyclable. I would like to see, and it has to do with whoever our hauler is, there's a lot of communities that have single stream recycling. So you have one bucket and your plastic goes in there and your metal goes in there and your paper goes in there, and anything that's going to be recycled goes in one space. We don't do that. We have to separate the paper. But as Councilor Bona referred to at the transfer station, they seem to all go together. And I think these are things that we can do. And we talk about climate change, we talk about resiliency. I worked in the town of Buckland a couple of years after Irene. That's the community where the river came up to the bridges. One bridge had their water pipes going under it between Shelburne and Buckland. The other bridge had their something else going, their sewer going under it. There was a house, a business that went into the river. I mean, I wasn't here in the days when the Hoosick River used to flood, but this is modern time. That was 15 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. And so I understand what happens when climate change impacts our communities. I've seen it. I've talked to the people that were cut off because they were surrounded by rivers. They were cut off from their community, from public safety vehicles, from response. So I do think we have to do things, and I think these are little things that I think they're little things we can do.
Thank you. Councilor Breen and then Councilor Fitch.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to talk a little bit about, we're in the process of building a new school for $65 million. And looking at some of the plans they have some very good things that are along this line. It would be great to have a presentation from the building committee to see what things are going to be happening with the new Greylock School and maybe adapt them to the other schools.
Thank you. Before I take any more people, just a reminder, let's be mindful of the time of our guests. Does anybody have specific questions for our guests? Not off topic, but related to what they presented this evening? Okay, Councilor Fitch?
Thank you. Yeah, just to wrap this up, my takeaway from this presentation is that we have a room full of people that care very passionately about sustainability in North Adams and beyond. We are not living sustainably in North Adams and beyond, and we all already know that. But this group presented us with some very specific options, things that we can start to work on. We have already started to work on creating a Sustainability Commission working group, something like that, gathering a team together so that we can focus on this in the long term. I just challenge my colleagues here to think about what else we could do. Have side conversations with folks from this group as I have, and perhaps come up with other options too that we can propose. And thank you so much for all this time and this robust discussion.
Thank you. Anything further? Counselor McDonald?
Thank you for this presentation. I really, it does show that there's interest in the Sustainability Commission and that there is reason to go forward with some sort of commission, working group, or, you know, wherever that lands, and having community members involved seems very vital. I also like to look at a lot of the options that you guys laid across, or what are things that North Adams can do. And a lot of them that stuck out were like tree planting, single-use plastic bag ban, having charging stations, as well as just like in general connecting with organizations around here. I think those are very important. It seems like we have a lot of community members connecting, and I'm really glad that you brought it here. I did want to mention what Councilor Bona said about having it involved in the schools. I think that when it comes to sustainability, that starts at a very young age as the culture in schools. So I know we've had, I think, Brayton leftover food ended up going in one pile, and then they had their trash in a different pile. I don't know if they still do it, but that was one way that they were trying to be more sustainable years ago. I love the idea, like Councilor Blackmer said, about having plastic forks or spoons or something like that, because I do agree that I would like our schools to be more involved in being sustainable, but I also do think that having a single-use plastic ban does not necessarily need to wait for our schools. But anyway, thank you very much for your presentation. It was very informative.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, I would just...
Make a comment, please.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Councilor Bona for bringing that up. I'm a 40-year Massachusetts public school teacher, elementary, and I have been waiting for this night to be over so that I can begin contacting the schools and working with them on this, this initiative and on this issue. I also know that children are very excited about recycling. I've taught them recycling, I've taught science, and they're very gung-ho about getting into that, putting their teeth into that. And so I think your point is well taken. And I also want to thank Councilor Blackmer for your dedication to this and your enthusiasm about this, and thank all of you. But schools are definitely something that I am keen and dedicated to pursuing immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. With that, I'd also like to echo the thanks for you all coming, showing your support, giving us this wonderful information. There's so much still to learn about all of these initiatives, and there's so many initiatives and there's so many things that we need to achieve and accomplish to make our city more sustainable, a more friendly, and a better place to live for everybody. And so this kind of support, this kind of information proves that we do need to continue to look at sustainability initiatives and potentially putting together a working group and commission to deal and address with these problems. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for all the information, and I hope to connect with you in the future to learn more. Next on the agenda, we have Council Item 12,565, a communication from President Ashley Shade regarding proposed updates to ordinances related to dog regulations to bring the City of North Adams into compliance with Massachusetts Chapter 213 of the Acts of 2024, commonly referred to as Ollie's Law, strengthening oversight and safety of kennels. Without objection, I'd like to file the communication. Before we move on to the order, I'm going to go ahead and read part of the communication for you so everybody understands what Ollie's Law is. So I'm writing to share with you a proposed amendment to Chapter 27 dog regulations of our city ordinances that would bring North Adams into full compliance with Massachusetts Chapter 213 of the Acts of 2024, commonly referred to as Ollie's Law. As you know, Ollie's Law was enacted to strengthen oversight and safety standards of kennels, boarding facilities, and commercial dog care operations across the Commonwealth. While North Adams currently licenses kennels under Chapter 27, our existing ordinance does not include several elements that are now required under state law, including mandatory inspections prior to issuance of renewal of kennel licenses, local authority to determine and enforce maximum kennel capacity, required injury reporting within 24 hours, standardized record-keeping requirements, and clear supervision and revocation authority tied to safety violations. The proposed revision modernizes Chapter 27 to incorporate these requirements while preserving our existing enforcement structure and due process protections. It also provides clear authority to the animal control officer to conduct inspections and ensures that facilities operating in our community meet consistent safety standards. My goal is to refer this to the Public Safety Committee for review, and I welcome your feedback and in advance, and if anybody has questions, comments, or concerns. So with that, I'd like to file the communication and move to the order. Council Item 12,565, an ordinance to amend the revised ordinances of the City of North Adams, Chapter 27, dog regulations, updating to include state requirements for kennels under Ollie's Law. Do we have a motion?
I move to refer to public safety and then to general government for final language.
Second?
Do we have a return date?
Second meeting in May.
Second.
Oh, wait, we got April. I don't know what can, if you've got two committees, it might make it good to make it the end of May. And obviously send it to the solicitor too.
Second meeting in May would be May 24th. So the motion is to refer to public safety and then to general government with a return date of May 24th. Do we have a second?
Point of clarification, May 26th, I believe is the date.
Correct, May 26th. Thank you.
Of course.
And to the solicitor
To the solicitor. After general government.
after general government. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor McDonald. Discussion. Counselor Breen?
Yeah, one quick question before it goes off to committee. What about our kennel? Is that also included in the documents for inspection? The one that is down on Hodges Crossroad?
Any and all kennels this would apply to.
Even city-owned?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other? Counselor Zavadski?
So a couple of questions and points. It seems like this law was put into place in 2024 and is currently required for us to be following it. There's not like in 6 months we have to follow it. We should have already been following it.
Correct.
Okay. So I just wanted to clarify. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, do we know, I'm interested in kind of getting a sense of everyone this would impact. Do we know the number of licenses that we have out there for dog kennels and operations that this law falls under right now?
We don't. We currently don't have a reporting mechanism, and Ollie's Law has created a reporting mechanism. So we have to annually report to the state how many kennels there are, how many licenses, capacity. We have to now report these things. And the reports are due beginning this year. So this is why it's important for us to jump on this and get this enacted so then we can then, and again, this is a rough draft. I expect that there will be revisions. This is just me getting the process started, trying to adopt the language from Ollie's Law.
Thank you.
Counselor McCarron?
So these changes are mandatory, I take it?
They are state law, so we have to do them either
There's no
way.
flexibility
No.
in what we, okay. How we implement them locally, so there's no flexibility.
Counselor Blackmer?
Thank you for taking the initiative on this, and I would hazard a guess that with the state law making requirements, anything other than the fact that we have to figure out how many there are, any kind of enforcement could still be enforced under state law without us having gotten to changing the ordinance.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought, okay. But thank you for, like, making sure we take care of this.
And where the issue arises is we do have people that operate kennels within the city, but there's no reporting currently, so we need to implement this, so we have our own mechanism of getting those reports, making sure everything is, and I originally wanted to hold this off and send it to the Animal Control Commission, which was created, but that has not been filled yet, so, and we're at a point where we can't wait any longer for that to take over. Eventually, this would fall under them to be the enforcement people and them to be the ones to review this and keep it up to date. Counselor Sapienza?
Yes, is there any estimation on the number of kennels in the city at this point?
My understanding is that there's one or two.
Thank you.
Counselor McCarron?
Is there a time limit on this? I know that we're coming back to this on May 26th, but is there like a...
So, we by law are supposed to be reporting into, I believe it's by June. I believe it's by June that I'm supposed to be reporting to the state. And the one or two businesses that we currently have are not considered kennels at this point. It's just Ollie's Law includes training facilities and boarding facilities as well, daycares.
Well, because through the chair.
Yep.
Just asking, because we're gonna refer it to public safety and then general government and then the solicitor and then back. So I was just wanting to make sure that we get all this done before you have to report it now in June. That's why I was asking for the time frame.
So if anybody didn't hear, the reporting requirements are due in June, which is why we have kind of a tight time frame to start implementing these. But again, this is already implemented via state law. So until then, we're going to have to use our resources with the city clerk's office, the animal control officer, and start discovering what kennels we have in the city. The kennels also include daycare facilities and facilities of those nature, training grounds. Any of those types of programs would then fall under kennels and due by state law. So implementing this into our ordinances will actually create a process to make it a lot easier for enforcement and reporting requirements. And that is the purpose of this ordinance update.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any further questions? Counselor Sapienza?
Yes, I haven't read the entire proposed ordinance yet, but in this, has there been an established or any language establishing a registration process at this point? Or is that something that's going to be needed to be added as we review this?
Yeah, there is language that will say about licensing and who's responsible for issuing licenses, which would be the animal control officer or the Animal Control Commission, eventually as they get through approved. But as far as this is very basic level language that I've started at. This is a starting point. I don't expect this to be finished. There may be more things that we want to add. There may be things we want to expand upon. This is the basics to get us in compliance. But we probably want to be more thorough than just the basics.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, we have a motion to refer this to public safety and then to general government and then to the solicitor with a return date of the second meeting of May 26th. All in favor?
Aye.
That was 9 yeas. The motion passes. Thank you all. We have no licenses on the agenda. Open forum. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the council for 2 minutes on issues of municipal significance. As a reminder, I will start the clock, and the clock will count you in. As a courtesy, I ask that all parties please refrain from any personal attacks, and that anyone coming up to speak say their name and city for the record. Would anybody like to speak for open forum? Yes, come on up to the microphone. Can you turn the clock? Just one moment. It's going to count upwards to 2 minutes. It's going to start at 0. It's going to count up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Hart. I live in North Adams. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, so please pardon the fact that I am shaking in my space boots right now. I'm here in front of you in a few different capacities. One, as a conservation commissioner. Second, as the organizer of a volunteer group called North County Litter Pickers. And third, as your local preachy vegan. So I wanted to address a couple of things that were spoken about tonight and also add some things for context. Whew, okay, so just for public awareness, the number one thing that you can do as an individual to reduce your environmental footprint is to reduce your dependence on animal products, which means eating less meat and dairy. There's all kinds of research about this. I will not bore everyone tonight going into the statistics. But if you are looking to reduce your environmental footprint, please consider going vegan or try Meatless Mondays. It really actually has an impact. Second, as we're rolling into Earth Month for April, I just wanted to let everyone know that North County Litter Pickers is doing at least 2 volunteer litter cleanups in the community. One as part of First Friday, and the second one will be April 25th. In partnership with Hoosick River Revival, we'll be cleaning up along the river swale behind the splash pad. Third, I know we had a lot of interest in protecting our waterways. As a member of the Conservation Commission, I would just like to say we have a lot of openings on that commission, and every month we do real work in the community protecting our wetlands and waterways. So if you'd like to get involved, we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Perfect timing, thank you.
We're good. I'm impressed.
Couldn't have timed that any better. That was great. Would anybody else like to speak? Yes, please come on up to the microphone.
Can I use this one?
Yes, you may.
My name is
Wait,
Alice.
it's gonna beep you in, okay?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I've been asked to join the Green Committee, but I've been busy working at the Williamstown Council of Aging, trying to get that stuff going forward. I do live in North Adams. I live on Tyler Street, not to be confused with Tyler Street in Pittsfield. But what do you think? Does the red clash with my pink? It works very, very well. I have so many of these bags at home that I continually give them to other people. Some people don't like the red, some people prefer the green, but this is an easy way to use and become part of the whole sustainability efforts here in the city of North Adams. Thank you so much.
Can you just say your name for the record, please?
Alice Bojanowski, and I live on Tyler Street in North Adams.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? Come on up to the microphone, please. Can you turn the clock? And the clock will count you in.
Peter May from North Adams. I would just like to say that this is what government is supposed to do, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the things that you all addressed tonight, and all of you having come here, is a wonderful thing. These are all important initiatives that everybody's trying to do, and thank you for supporting them.
Thank you so much. Come on up to the microphone, and we will count you in on, the clock will count you in.
I'll wait for the beep. Hi, my name is Mal Karakaya. I work at the Porches Inn. Many of you know, just right around the corner. Porches is fully plastic-free. We are one of the, I think, most sustainable property in the area. It costs money, but we think that saving the environment is more important than saving money. I think it works well. Our team members learn, And we do that practices every single day. It starts hard, but it gets very easy along the way. So if anybody wants to come and visit Porches, you won't see one single plastic thing in the property. Oh, welcome.
Thank you. Could you just say your city for the record?
My name?
Your city.
Oh, Porches is in North Adams, but I live in Williamstown. So I work in North Adams for the last 15 years.
Thank you so much. Would anybody else like to speak? Yes, please come on up. And the clock will count you in.
Thank you, guys. John Pitroff from Adams. I'm the founder and owner of Second Chance Composting. I want to thank you for even being open to this, and wanted to mention that I'm part of the Mass DEP Solid Waste Advisory Committee and the Mass DEP Organic Subcommittee, and there's already movement to ban food waste from the commercial level, meaning restaurants, schools, hotels, fully by they just made a date of November of 2028 is like their earliest goal that they want to hit. Also, they want to ban food waste from the residential level by November 1st, 2030 at the earliest. So there's definitely movement towards this. I'm also on the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District that was mentioned earlier. I'm the alternate commissioner for the town of Adams there. I wrote a proposal last year to Mayor Maxey about a composting effort for a drop-off program at the transfer station that they weren't interested in at the time. I then wrote another one about 6 months after that and about moving our operation to the transfer station. I had a meeting with Tim Lascarbo last year, and he was very interested and actually was pretty much handshake agreement that he thought it was a great idea. Conversation fell off. I think somebody became sick, unfortunately, or something. So we haven't picked the conversation back up. But I just want you to know, like, I'm more than willing to continue to do that. And part of a bigger thing here with everybody else that cares about this and really want to help make the sustainability mission happen, specifically with composting. I'm pretty much a local expert on it. And we've had conversations with the schools. We have a program at the library. We're doing a lot in the community, and we'd love to be able to help with it. So thank you.
Thank you. Come on up to the microphone. Again, name and city for the record. Please start after the clock counts you in.
Good evening. My name is Tina Sotis, and I live in North Adams. I didn't come here planning to speak. This is very short. I lived here for about a year when I met John Pitroff at our local farmers market, and it was through him that I got into the composting program. And I noticed that once we started composting our food, and there's only 2 of us, our garbage was slashed in half. Now we do recycle, but that was beforehand. I just noticed our garbage bags we have only half the garbage. And that's just from composting our food. So I want to just put that out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Okay, thank you all. Okay, next we have city clerk updates. Do we have any updates from the city clerk?
So I want to let people know that all the censuses have been sent out. If anybody has any concern that they have not received theirs, please reach out to the clerk's office. It is 413-662-3015. It is important for the census that we get those back. We have been getting them in pretty steadily as we've been sending them out. So sending them out this year in batches seemed to definitely work better than last year. I think we didn't overwhelm the postal service, and so we're getting a better results. If there's any questions, please feel free to give us a call. We can either reprint and resend to you, or I'm actually going to be posting a blank census online, so people can also print that out and utilize that.
Thank you. Mayor's updates. The mayor is not here this evening. Liaison updates, councilors updates. Councilor Zavatsky and then Councilor McCarron.
So the Affordable Housing Trust we had our first meeting 2 Wednesdays ago. It was very exciting. The Affordable Housing Trust is a new initiative that was created by this council last September or October, and it just started. But basically, it is a group of people, and we have a full board who are empowered to collect money and spend money to do real projects for the benefit of low and moderate income housing. So we have the tremendous task of figuring out what we can do, what we want to do, prioritizing that, and figuring out how to get money. But we are excited, we are energized, and we are meeting so kind of to get going, we're meeting the second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 5:15 in City Hall. The next meeting tomorrow night is in the upstairs conference room at 5:15, after which point we'll start meeting monthly. So if you're interested in just seeing what we're up to, please check on the city website. But we tomorrow we'll be going through our ordinance and starting to brainstorm. But we're gonna, like I said, we really have our work cut out for us. But really encourage any members of the public that are interested to either come or just get in touch with me or other members, and we can talk about things. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilor McCarron.
Thank you. So I am the liaison for the North Adams Public Schools, and I just have a very short update from the last meeting they had. As of right now, the MSBA, the School Building Committee, right now, David Suki has joined on as a voting status. Dick Alkenbright has decided to stay on as a representative for the community. As far as the new school building, they have hired a contractor, and the contractor came in $2 million under budget. So that includes the add-ons as well. So, and the contractor is Fontaine Brothers, and they are going to begin on July 2027. They have construction meetings happening weekly, and they are looking to start, activity should have started as the beginning of this week. People may have seen rumblings going around Greylock School. And I do have a letter to read from Mayor Maxey, but I just do have a couple other things that I wanted to share. That, first of all, that Drury's sports #1 in the state for basketball. That was that. And James, and unless that changed since they played, I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that one. And James and the Giant Peach will be their next play they will be putting on at Drury High School April 10th and 11th. So those were the notes that came out of the meeting. And this is a letter from Mayor Maxey, dated March 3rd, 2026. It says, "Dear neighbors of Greylock Elementary School, we are pleased to share that construction on the new Greylock Elementary School is now underway. The city has entered into an agreement with Fontaine Brothers Incorporated, who will serve as the project's general contractor, and Collier's project leaders, who will continue to guide the project as the city's owner's project manager. As the demolition and the construction phases begin, you may notice increased activity in the area surrounding the school, including construction vehicles, equipment, and occasional noise. During the week of March 9th, 2026, the general contractor is expected to mobilize equipment on site to begin demolition and abatement of the existing building. Around the same time, installation of the site fencing in the initial stages of the site work will begin. We recognize that construction activity of this scale can be disruptive at times. The project team will be on site daily and will work closely with the general contractor to ensure that construction activities are limited to the designated hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are committed to maintaining clear and consistent communication with the neighborhood throughout this approximately 18-month project. Updates will be shared through the school website and newsletters and will include information about major milestones, any changes to traffic patterns and activities that may temporarily affect the surrounding area. If you would like to receive periodic construction updates and newsletters, please feel free to provide your email address to members of our project team listed below. Jeffrey Manley, Construction Representative, Colliers Project Leaders, at jeffrey.manley@collierseng.com, or Todd Ashford, Project Manager, Colliers Project Leaders, at todd.ashford@collierseng.com. Thank you in advance for your cooperation and support as we move forward with this exciting project for our community. Sincerely, Jennifer A. Maxey, Mayor.
Thank you. Counselor Breen?
Yeah. Recently, the Berkshire Regional Transit Authority is, their board has got together to make a proposal to change or reduce routes through Berkshire County. And the reason is that they're staffing their drivers, they don't have enough of them. And they want to get some input from Northern Berkshire. So the Public Service Committee is invited Kathleen Lambert, who's the administrator of the Berkshire Regional Transit Authority. She'll be here on the March 16th, a Monday, in the chambers here from 4:30 to 6:30. She's going to present the proposal that they have, but she also is here to answer questions. And I think it's very, very important people that use the bus come and talk to her. They're open to listening, which is a good thing. Ridership is up. Right now, it's free through the summer. And there looks like daylight that they may get more funding for ridership being reduced in price or free. Their problem is manpower. And so I think it's very important to convey where people are traveling, what's important, jobs, different things like that, doctor's appointments and that. So again, it's Monday, the 16th in the chamber here from 4:30 to 6:30. And the public can ask questions of the administrator.
Thank you. Anybody else? Council updates, liaison updates? Counselor Fitch?
Yeah, just a note that came up from Leah, I believe it was. The Conservation Commission has some openings. We got into a rhythm for a little while of the mayor giving us regular updates of which commissions needed filling, open spots. I'd love to get back into that rhythm, and I'll gladly chat with the mayor about that. But I did want to say to everybody in the audience here, anytime you're ever curious about getting involved in North Adams government, go to the city website, click on government, click on boards and commissions. You'll see a whole list of 25, I think, plus boards and commissions. And I can't guarantee that this is updated, but each of them has a link to follow. Each of them has the total number of seats, the term of those seats, and vacancies listed. Every one of them also probably has somebody who is getting ready to step down from it or will in the future and is kind of waiting for a new, fresh person to come and take their place. So just show up or reach out to them or reach out to the mayor if you're curious about getting involved, or one of us if you want a referral to get involved. And thank you for considering that.
Thank you. Anybody else? I would just like to add, we heard earlier, and we heard from Councillor Fitch, reiterating the need for people to serve on our boards and commissions. The Conservation Commission being a great one that already exists, looking for your help. Another one that I know is desperate for help is the Tree Commission. I know tree planting was part of this presentation this evening. They've been unable to plant for at least the past year because they don't have enough volunteers and people to assist them in getting that going. So if that's something that interests you, please reach out, either join the commission or reach out to them and talk to them about how you can volunteer to help start planting trees this year. Thank you so much. I also want to reiterate the importance of the clerk's update about the census. The census is how we get money as a city and a community. We need to count you so we can count dollars. The less of you, the less dollars we get. So it is very important that you fill out those papers and return them to City Hall so we can count you and get money to support our city. Thank you. We have no other correspondences. A motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Blackmer, seconded by Counselor Sapienza. All in favor?
Aye.
9 yeas, the motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.